you can wear the men's belts, but the women wanted a little bit of a more feminine buckle. So we actually launched the line in 2020. For years, we've had women say, hey, I want an Anson belt too. So we redesigned the buckles to be a little bit more feminine, and we added some more feminine strap colors and launched the ladies line in 2020.
So it sounds like the women's brand that you have, though, has a lot of growth potential.
We just did an analysis of a men's brand, and about 53% of their buyers are women because the women are buying for the man.
All right, so we're back again. We have a little bit brighter side of the couch over here. We have David and his better half. And so, Kristen, thanks for coming in. You guys together run and operate Anson Belt and Buckle, right? With your father, or how does this whole thing work?
Yeah, with my father, my two best friends, and a ton of strategic partners like Matt and his team. But yes, Kristen has recently, in the last couple of years, really kind of since 2020 almost. So, since 2021, 2020, has been really taking the reins on the Anson Belt for her line that we introduced around that time.
Yeah. So when did you guys decide to do that, and why the Anson Belt for her?
So we actually launched the line in 2020. For years, we've had women say, hey, I want an Anson belt too. And at first, we just didn't think the market was there because when men wear belts more often than women.
Yeah.
But we had enough women ask us that we said, hey, maybe this is something we need to look into. I was already wearing the men's belts,
Yeah, and the smaller size, right? Because the belt comes in two different sizes.
Yep.
And I would say, you can wear the men's belts, but the women wanted a little bit of a more feminine buckle. So we redesigned the buckles to be a little bit more feminine, and we added some more feminine strap colors and launched the ladies line in 2020. And I actually started helping with social media in 2022. We weren't really doing much with the ladies line, and
right.
I kind of have fun creating content, so I decided, why not try?
The buckle, how much getting that feminine touch into it, how much time did it take to kind of get that right? Was it a one and done thing, or how long did it take to get? Because I know how you wanted to be right.
David?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so basically, the buckle was created in 2003.
Yeah, so we actually, the buckle, we've had the idea for a long time for the curve, but and basically the big difference is that it doesn't have the buckle bar. So we took away the buckle bar and kind of made it a little more dainty. It definitely is more minimalistic. Isn't as, but you could also go with the classic that's full faced. But both of them have softer edges to the buckle. So the men's is very squared and hard edges, corners, which just feels more masculine. So we felt like, kind of curving those lines would be more feminine, as well as adding straps that are more, geared more towards women, leopard print and the multicolored boas and things like that, and some of the pastels and all that stuff. So yeah,
that's cool.
Josh will start wearing the
boa.
women's.
The
women's leopard print.
Golfers especially like
I would rock a
boa.
boa belt like in the women's color like tomorrow. If I had a pink boa
We're
belt,
gonna bring you a hot pink one.
I would wear it. Dude, bring it. I will wear the heck
actually
out of
have
it.
one.
Wow.
But yeah, just like, women wore the men's lines for forever. We definitely have some guys that like some of those boa prints. So, it's not exclusive to gender, but.
And you can mix and match within any collection as long as you stay within the same width.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, which is so awesome.
Any differences? So at what point did you decide, okay, you bringing that on, did you use the same manufacturers for stuff? Did that take a whole nother mindset of sourcing? You've got, within building a brand, you've got the idea of like, now do I market multiple tiers? I've got a website that's been traditionally male-based. Mm-hmm. Did I have to think about, okay, it's female-based. How do I do this without just throwing a curveball to my regular people?
Absolutely.
Talk about a little bit about what it actually means to add a product line to a brand.
Yeah, so we really had a lot of those tough decisions because it's, you're exactly right. Do you add it to your normal website that all of your traffic's going to?
Or do you just go a whole new
which
website?
Is 90%, probably, male, except when gift giving and that kind of thing. So that was really something we struggled with and ultimately decided to kind of split it up into kind of our traditional Anson belt line and then our Anson belt for her line that was just strictly for our women's collection. And so that way when if a customer was looking for a women's belt, they would go to the Anson belt for her page and all of that product would be from our women's line. So really I felt like that was the best way because so much of our traffic and so many of our historical customers were male that I felt like kind of blending that too much would have turned them off too much. So kind of split those up.
Matt, I'm going to ask you a question now. Like with the website side of these things, what kind of conversations do you guys have about that portion of the site? Is it different as well as the way it is maybe laid out, or is it more feminine based? Any thought go into having that different than the male side, or is what works on the male side work on also the female side?
Yeah, the principles of good optimization work on both. But one thing that they wanted to be very clear of is they want them to know if they're on the for her, then they know that. And so that's very clear up in the menu. Like, you know what area of the site that you're on.
And with the imagery,
Yep.
as well. So, featuring more of our women's belts and women's lifestyle images, that kind of thing.
Cool. What have you enjoyed the most about like with the social media stuff? Like, obviously like a year or two ago, like you said, you took it over. It's like the thing just took off as far as like a fresh breath of air. I see it all the time. It's like, it's just great watching it. I think it just really is great. Has that contributed to more sales in the business, or what have you guys seen? And what would you recommend for someone out there that's kind of doing similar things?
I think it's probably helped with sales, but also engagement. I have people who reach out to me regularly, and they, let me know things that they would like to see in the future, and they'll give me feedback. And I've been able to reach out to some of them to test new products, like the loops that we just came out with. I reached out and had about 10 loyal followers try them for us before we put them on market. So just that's
a big
the
deal.
engagement is a big deal.
Building
that
the
matters
community.
because you feel comfortable if those 10 people who are your fans
Absolutely.
are going to really like it.
Yeah,
then
if they have positive feedback, and they'll tell you if not, they'll say, yeah, I like it, but this.
Yeah, with
they
the
feel
loops, the
comfortable
ladies
enough.
all loved them. The guys were kind of like, I don't really see a need for this, but really I thought the loops would be more helpful for women who wear them with dresses too.
That's who we had in mind was our female customers that would wear higher waisted belts, and so
100%.
they
But
really,
then some other gentlemen have said, I
exactly.
really want the
Yep,
loops.
Some
so-
guys like to keep theirs longer, and so they keep a longer kind of tail to their strap, and so they prefer to have
I
one as
have a
well.
curiosity question. Have you looked at your buyers list since you introduced the women's line to see if the number of women buyers has went up? Because
we've definitely introduced a lot, more female customers. I think, overall, it hasn't been an overwhelming percentage, but it has definitely brought in a loyal following from female customers that otherwise would have never bought our belt and never been customers. So now.
Yeah, where I was getting at is we just did an analysis of a men's brand, and about 53% of their buyers are women because the women are buying for the man.
Yep,
and then
absolutely.
about 47% were men. And so I
Yeah.
didn't know if, like, whatever
It'd
your
be
number was
a tough
before that,
metric.
and now you're bringing women in that will look at the women's belts, but they're also going to buy men's belts for their...
Exactly.
for
Or
their-
how many of our female customers then went on to purchase the women's belts as well, and that would be a really tough metric, to kind of nail down. But
Yeah, I was just trying to wonder if like the skew of like how many was predominantly men buyers is now, if it's evening out a little more.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yep.
I think women's belts are also starting to make a little bit of a comeback for a while.
time.
Like when I was in high school, we wore belts every single day, and then that kind of went away. But they're starting to come back. The shorts, the shirts are getting shorter, and the jeans are getting higher.
Yeah,
and,
Josh
The
used to wear
higher-waisted-
calf shorts. He doesn't anymore. So
yeah,
things go in
the
and
low
out.
rise you didn't need a belt as much. With the higher waisted jeans, you need a
The
belt.
calf
so-
shorts are dirty. I just didn't wear them today. We joke. This goes back to the previous thing. Like I got some of the Michael swim shorts because I like bright colors. The first couple of times I wore them, we boat have it all the time. It's like, why are the back of my legs so fried?
You got to turn around next time on the way back. Or something.
They never saw sun
Now he's
before.
finally got shorts that go to his knee.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
it's funny, super funny. So it sounds like the women's brand that you have though has a lot of growth potential, and especially if the market is
absolutely.
trending in a direction. Do you have any plans? And you don't have to say those, but do you have plans like you're ready to pull triggers and levers when we meet certain metrics? How do you go about doing that? Do you just go off gut feeling when it's happening, or is it something you plan out?
it's definitely a line that we want to expand on because you're absolutely right. The potential for growth is very high, and I think that the trends are going more towards fashion trends are going more towards women wearing belts, so that market is gonna increasingly increase over the years. So as far as adding new products, we're always looking to add new ones. So there's so much to that line that you can get creative with with the materials, and
Yeah.
the colors, and the prints. So there's a lot that we want to do with that. In the buckles, definitely want to introduce some different styles of women's buckles, and so there's a lot of potential there.
Do you
for sure.
think do you think the women's line will ever be its own standalone site? Would you ever do that in your mind? And in your mind, when would that be smart to do? So if someone that's out there, again, maybe not a belt brand, obviously, but has catered to both male and female, when do you decide that maybe now's the time to break this off?
Well, I mean, we have, you're able to physically navigate there through the men's site, through our ansonbelt.com site that gets, the traffic that it does. I think that what you would do is just, you would be sending traffic to your Anson Belt for Her site, which is, where you can get to from the men's. And, it can still, you can send traffic to there, but, I think that for SEO, for all the things
Stays
that
together.
Anson Belt
Yeah.
has established, that it would be,
Yeah.
it would be
Dumb.
it wouldn't be beneficial to
No, you'd have
separate
to-
that until the other one is just getting so much that it can.
'Cause I'm
live
sure
on
there's
its own,
people
and
out there
even
that-
then, you
I think
probably
they
wouldn't even
feed
want
each
to.
other.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
definitely do. But the other thing that this made me think about what you guys were talking is, just because you have one successful brand doesn't mean that it doesn't take work to add
Absolutely.
things in and get them to grow, because it's certainly just because you have the critical mass in the men's market doesn't mean that you have it in the women's yet.
Absolutely.
And it takes work. And so
Yeah.
you gotta it's
Definitely.
like, all right, I gotta get dirty again. I gotta break it down and figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But you have someone over here that's super.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it without her. So.
Yeah,
It probably wouldn't happen without her,
No,
right?
it
Let's be
No.
honest.
She can certainly
Well,
talk to the audience much different than you can.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
go sell
and
a
it wasn't
belt,
happening.
man.
That's the thing. It wasn't happening. We introduced the men's line, and we just weren't. I didn't have the time to dedicate to it. I mean, it just wasn't a revenue driver. That, I mean, at the time, the men's required all my focus, so it was hard to take focus off of that. So bringing Kristen on to to take the reins on that was crucial to getting that going at all, because it really wasn't without that.
And you really do like the men's side of the fashion and all the rest of it. Like you
I'm
really
passionate about that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Is there a friendly competition amongst you? Do you have do you have any goals for you on your side of the line of those things that you want to get it to, that you're like, I'm just going to show him with this, or maybe some of that friendly competition is always good?
Well, I think he's good about, acknowledging what I do. And
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, she blows me away with it, with the social media aspect. of it.
But-
I mean, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's a little friendly competition, I guess.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Drives growth. Yeah.
That's
Like,
cool.
oh, I already posted my Free Belt Friday. Have you? Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely does that.
Dude, accountability
That
will
kind
get
of
you
thing,
so
for
far
sure.
in life,
Absolutely.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how come you haven't done it, David?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You
Yeah.
didn't pick a winner yet. Jeez.
Yeah.
Where are you right now?
She'll keep you
What are you
consistent.
even doing?
Yep. That's right. That's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, thanks for joining us. Anything else, like takeaways?
No, I just think it's fun to see that them work together and make it work and enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun.
Yeah.
Anson belt for her. I can't wait to get my BOA belt.
Absolutely.
It's going to be
Can't wait to
sick,
see it on you.
and it'll continue to grow. And one day it'll be the same, or who knows? Maybe
That'd
the
be
female will
amazing. I love it.
surpass the male.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
just there's such a large people out there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's awesome. Cool. Thanks for your time, Kristen.
Awesome.
Yes, thanks for having me.